focus on the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. It was kind of wonderful, then it got sour. It was crazy, and literally, every time I'm wearing a Lakers shirt, I feel like Snapchat gets clapped. Like, go look at the videos. It's pretty wild. Maybe it's like the Laker curse. I don't know, but we are going to talk about Snapchat. I mean, you saw the earnings. They missed. There's no excuse about it. There's not really too many bright spots except user growth, but a lot of people didn't like it. Some analysts called it awful, and honestly, man, I was just thinking about it. I was sitting there, all the comments, they were getting to me, and then I was just like, man, I don't know, like, do I sell? And like, I was thinking about it, so I need your help, Chad, but we're going to talk about that a little later in the video. But I have a different style for today. I need you to tell me how you feel about it. I'm going to take you with me somewhere, but the whole point is today was pretty wild. The last couple of days, there's been a lot of moving parts, and if you haven't noticed, you've had an epic rally. It continued today. We got to a big 397 level, and it's going to be interesting, but now, too, what happened with Snapchat? It brought down Facebook like 4% after hours. Google's even down like 3 or 4. Even Amazon got affected, so literally there's been more market cap lost on the sympathy plays to Snapchat than Snapchat is even worth. Literally, Snapchat right now has like a $19 billion market cap. Facebook alone already sold off $30 billion of market cap. So keep all that in mind, but drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the stock market. I don't know why I'm pointing at that, but we'll see you there in the morning. God bless you. So, all right, come with me, Chad. Let me show you. All right, Chad. So I'm kind of nervous to show you this. I forgot I got one of these like whiteboard walls in my house. It might even, there's a lot of reverb in this room, but like, don't make fun of my handwriting. I'll work on it if you want more videos like this, but essentially there was a bunch of stuff today, even the last couple of days. So I figured let's just get everything on here and see kind of the effect. And then we could kind of get a better idea because this last week was very interesting and there was a lot of stuff. So let's start with the morning. That says bad data if you can't read it. So if you didn't know, jobless claims, that was bad. That came in. The Philly Fed, that was bad too. But you didn't get any negative reaction today. And why? Well, bad data led to a weak dollar. Weak dollar is good for stocks. Now, keep note that weak dollar over the last couple of days, this one has been interesting. So keep all of that in mind. But now the bad data also leads to lower yields. So you probably noticed TLT has been going up. TLT going up, just remember this concept. The yields go up, TLT going up. Tech stocks like that. Just remember the opposite at the beginning of the year, but lower yields, good for stocks. We love that. And then the ECB, I should have even put the Gazprom stuff too. That was it. The Gazprom didn't lead to lower yields, but it led good for stocks, maybe related to energy. But the ECB, despite them doing the hike and people kind of worried, it actually led to more lower yields in the United States. And again, that was good for stocks. If anything, the yen, this kind of related to the ECB, and they kind of balanced out the currency effect, but we haven't seen the effect, the full effect of the ECB, but initially today it was ended up being good. So there's all that, and then even bad data, Fed futures, the pricing for next week. Again, the worse the data gets, or at least not getting too hot, not too cold, it gives the market an idea that, hey, Powell is going to approach the rate hikes from a less panicky mode, and people like that. So keep all that in mind, but now bad data, it leads all the way into earnings, and this is what's going to factor in for tomorrow. But the earnings, one, Tesla, they were up 10% today, absolutely insane. We're going to go over the plays in a little bit, but that was another thing good for stocks. But then there was bad data coming from some of the earnings, our boy Snapchat, but then AT&T, they warned about the consumer. They lowered free cash flow. They said people weren't even paying bills. And then STX, they got clapped. So keep this in mind for tomorrow. SAM got clapped again, and even ISRG. Literally just go look at any of those tickers. and it's just ugly, ugly, ugly charts. Man, this is a workout holding this camera, bro, but that was bad for stocks. And then you also have the sympathies to Google and all that. I don't have that here, but we want to see if this carries over into tomorrow. And then the yen keeps weakening. The B of J today, it was not good in the sense that the yen keeps weakening. They said it's not a worry. That's bad for stocks. And then you probably heard COVID-19, President Joe Biden, he got COVID. I would say that was bad for stocks. So why I'm showing you all this, and maybe we'll keep track of this. Again, I don't know if you like it. I have like a weird, again, I use like very poor markers on this one. I mean, they're not even, honestly, I don't even know. Is this going to come out? Yeah, it's going to come out. Okay, but it wasn't a dry erase marker. But point is, there is a bunch of stuff going on here. And like we're saying, the days have been confusing. A lot of people ask me, they're like, why does bad data lead to the stock market up? And it's like, it's connecting to a lot of different things. And even recently, those lower yields, they have been having a pretty big impact, not to mention you are straight up in earnings mode. So depending on some of the data or not, but a lot of good earnings are not being as bad, have left good for the market. So point is, there's a bunch going on. I hope you could track this a little better. I know it's not the best. Maybe I could do some shading, but yeah, let me know what you think about this. This kind of explains what we had today and kind of where we're going to go from here, at least what to watch for. This is what I'm saying for tomorrow now. It's just like, is COVID-19 really going to bring it down the rally? I don't know. Is the yen? Probably not. It could still weaken and panic things, but the real question is, does AT&T or really Snapchat and the side effects and all these companies, do they weigh in bad for stocks tomorrow more than any data could affect any of these factors that could lead to bullish? Pretty much the negative side is a lot less factors at this moment than a lot of the other positive side, but they have a weird interaction. So let us get into the plays. So we already covered all of that as far as the plays. I don't got a list for you, but it's very simple. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be going after Snapchat, going after Pinterest, any of the sympathies. I'm gonna keep watching Tesla with after what we saw today, and then we're gonna go over the plays and what we did, and then really just keeping an eye out for energy, but now defensive tomorrow, simply because if tech does bad, well, again, Facebook and Google, big factors, and people might start positioning a little different, but again, be careful of the premiums. But really, I'm thinking if tech or any of the stuff that's been rallying the last couple days, if they don't do too good tomorrow, I'm hoping we see finally a defensive move or more defensive consumer staples, healthcare, stuff like that kind of make its way back up. So we'll see. Those old XLVs we got are just like this last week. They're still holding up. So not too bad, but let's go over the plays today now and let's talk a little bit about the Tesla. So yesterday, you had lending tips. He wanted to make a YOLO. He bought an 800 call for next week on Tesla. And here's the interesting thing. Tesla this morning was only up like 3 or 4%. The option market was pricing in 7% yesterday. And go watch the recap of the stream. I was shocked this morning that the play was even up. So that kind of means the premiums were a little bit on the cheaper side, or people were feeling kind of bullish. But we woke up, the premiums were up. We didn't sell out right away. It looks like we waited, what, 15 minutes into the market, 12 minutes. We took it up at the first like little pop there. I got $2,100 on it, but I kind of wanted to push it again. This was like that YOLO play for lending tips. So I said, all right, let's make some moves on it. So I said, hey, why not go for a weekly, only 2 days at a time? But if I'm feeling bullish, we already got like $1,000 profit. I wanted to roll this over, and I grabbed the 815 on this week for 275, and then that contract went crazy, went up to 600. I said, all right, let me sell out and then do this again and get another rollover. But that contract ended up going to 1300. And really the whole point with this play, why I like it, one, I think Tesla's going to be an opportunity tomorrow. But two, we had a very big discussion on this where it's like, what do you do when you sell out too early? Literally, that first contract went up to like 3 or 4 grand, sold out too early. The second one went up to 1300, sold out too early. But here's the key. We still got one more play. Now, granted, it's worth less money. It may not have made us as much, or we could have made more holding it. But here's the best part. No matter what would have happened, this is always going to be safe. So literally, after 12 minutes of that stock being up, if it turned around, we would have been winners. Again, after the rollover, if it didn't shoot up another 20, 30 bucks, we would have lost on that one too. And again, we've seen this before. So The point is, we're going to watch where these end up by the end of the week and see, was it just a window of opportunity or not? But the whole idea is you don't need to go for protection, and you could use rollovers and other plays to manage your balance and say, hey, I could still play it. Let me make sure I pay myself and secure it, and then still get myself exposure. So that's what we did. I sold out of that other 600 one, and then right when I sold out of that, I went $20 more out the money, and then I grabbed another one for $1.76. So by the final play, I only really had $176 of all of the profit, counting up all the losses and anything on any put plays. It's like we already had a winning trade, so it's like the most I was going to lose from my profit at that point would have been $176. So that play went up, shot up to 340, even went as high as like $500-600 again, which was mind-blowing. But I said, I'll push it till tomorrow. If the momentum continues, we'll see what happens. Again, my max risk on this is 176. Otherwise, we're walking away like $1,500 guaranteed no matter what. So we will take it. But that was a big play today. Again, I'm going to watch this tomorrow for the follow-up. And then he's called me. I like this play too. I brought this up on the watch list, so I was down with it. But it was a Pinterest sympathy. We said, hey, Snapchat might do a little bit good here. Again, we were hoping it. That's at least what I was, in the fact that they guided down so low, and we've seen this kind of trend of guide low and then not worse as fear. But dog, Snapchat, it was as worse as fear, bro. It was as worse as fear. So there was that. We grabbed the 24 calls, 18 cents. I spent about $700 on it. We're going to be down on those tomorrow. Thankfully, they have earnings next week, so maybe they come back, but I doubt it. So we'll see what happens. But there was that one, and then I grabbed an Alcoa. I only spent $60 on it. I grabbed it because they were up in the morning. They had good earnings, announced big buybacks. It dropped, and then I bought one of these at 80 cents, and then it ended up coming back up throughout the day. It ended up coming a little bit lower there. Now I'm down about like 40% on it now, but $65. We lost like $29 or $20. But I like the idea of it. I thought that one could be interesting. So we'll see how that plays out. Earnings continuation. At least, again, I have another week of time, so that one may come back. Those Netflix ended up doing that too, and I'd watch for them. If they could break above 230 tomorrow, that could also be a play. So keep your eyes on that. And then I grabbed a Pfizer daily call on the news that Biden got COVID. We were like, he announced he was using the Paxlovid or whatever. So it went up. I spent another $19. I was like, all right, let's get one if it goes crazy. Then we saw ACAM go crazy. That was a buyout rumor. And then finally, I closed my covered calls on Snapchat. Remember, I had them a long time ago. On the long term, well, they came down to like only $200 of value, so I had to spend $200 to buy them back, but I got to realize like $3,000 of profit on the covered calls, and now I freed up my shares, but it's not really going to help me on this one, so let's see what happens. But let's talk about Snapchat now. Was the earnings good? Not at all. There's nothing I could say. Again, there's a couple of things I could say, but it's just like, hey, this was now the first company that hit that low number. Again, some of the other ones, like STX and all of that, some other people like Sam has kept guiding down and they keep missing. But in the tech space earnings, this one was interesting because they met that low guidance. Again, growth and other stuff was up, but it led to this whole effect. But now, should we sell it? Like, should I sell it? I really, really thought about this, and my answer, man, I hate to tell you this, is no, bro. What do you think this is? We got the break even at 12 on the other one. After the covered call plays, I mean, it gives us like $3,000 of profit. I think overall we're down about like 7% to 10% on the bigger shares now. So we finally got negative. That didn't really happen at the last earnings, but I like it. I'm just not going to be buying more. And again, I haven't bought more Snapchat from 2020. I mean, here was the first ever Snapchat video, and you could like see the date on that one. It was pretty wild, but the whole point is I like it. I like this stock. We have balance in the portfolio. I mean, I still like how the things are looking in the long term, but I'm not selling out of it. Again, a lot of people, I mean, your time to sell out is on the upside. So if you really do not believe in this anymore, one, I would make sure you know what you're going to do with the money, understand why you bought it, and depending on where you got it in at, I mean, that could dictate a lot. But here's what I'll tell you. You sell on the up days, you don't sell on the down days. So now that I freed up covered calls, let's see what we could do. Maybe we should have got some of the puts today. I don't know about the long term, but maybe instead of that Pinterest, but we'll see how it is. I do like the buyback news that they announced, or I don't know if it's like a dividend or a buyback, but point is, I'm still in Snapchat for it. It's an interesting moment. I'm not really in the market to buy it just yet. I've said this with a lot of stocks, and I hope you guys could appreciate this because a lot of people have asked me about a lot of stocks, and what's my answer? I'm like, hey, the market's down 30% right now on the NASDAQ. There's discounts everywhere. Why do you want to go for a second or third tier name? It's like, I'm not really in the market to buy those right now. And unfortunately, Snap is just one of those stocks. Like I said, I haven't added to it since 2020 because we got such a low price. We wrote it up. Instead of adding to it at the higher prices, I went and I grabbed value. We got Coca-Cola, we got Abivai, and some of those other plays, and then a lot of other stuff that ended up going down, like Coinbase and even like Overstock, Big Commerce. That's another bad one on there. So again, the whole idea is balance with all of it, but it's just in this market, I'd rather go get a lot of stuff. I'd rather get dividend on JP Morgan than buying more Snap when we already have big positioning on it. And now it's just starting to come negative. So I like holding it. I'm down with holding it. My philosophy with Snapchat is what a lot of people have been saying, is just simply, it's just going to take a couple more quarters. If you think Snapchat is done, I'm sorry, you're a hater. You're being delusional. I'm not calling you a hater like when your mom and dad are like, don't trade stocks. But like, honestly, like what I'm saying is like, we have to be real about it. And I really hope you can be. This is a different company than even when I made that first video, simply in the sense that they're making triple or quadruple the revenue. The revenue and the amount of money they're bringing in, it's still higher even from last year. They have more, they're growing at a pace of users of COVID. But again, I could list all this stuff, not trying to defend the earnings because I don't even like the earnings, but the whole point is it is a completely different company. And what a lot of people are saying is just that it's going to take a couple more quarters to gain back investor trust, to gain back that favorability where they got to do it. But they're making money and they're doing good in some areas, but to get back to where they were, it's like the vision got delayed by about 4 to 6 quarters is pretty much what it's looking like. So we'll see. Another factor we talked about was the fact that they cut their guidance, and some people, some analysts, I think it was Goldman again, they were mentioning how Snapchat's guidance really killed them more than anything, because the way they like signaled it, it just came out really negative. And essentially they were saying that the guidance and how they communicated it in the last couple quarters hurt them more than their actual numbers. Because one thing you probably heard of was the privacy, the Apple privacy. Guess what? There's not really any mention of that on this corner. It's macroeconomic problems, it's spending, it's all these other things, dilution, the buybacks, you know, stuff like that. But no one's really mentioned that in any of the headlines. So I think the guidance thing will be good, but again, this was a bad quarter. We're going to see the mission or the vision is delayed a little bit, but I'm still in it. I'm not buying more. I don't plan to buy any more. I plan to ride it out, but that's kind of where I stand with it. So what do you think though? Should I sell, Chad? I would love to hear what you have to say, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure post our watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning, baby. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining, and I need you to remember about the foundation, baby. You could build a building that leads to nowhere, but I promise you that foundation follows rules, a structure. If the foundation is strong, you will be strong. Sometimes we build poorly on top of the foundation, but the best part is the fire will purify it. If you got the good foundation, you build up again, baby. So let's get it. I love you, Chad. I'll see you in the market morning, but it's gonna be a fun one, baby. It's Friday. It's already been a crazy week. Let's see if the party I never dance. I dance like that sometimes. I get crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just I could go whatever I could jerk. I could Dougie. Teach me how to is that how you do? I don't know. You want now Superman? Now what am I do? I have no idea. Okay, I'm sorry. It's the Snapchat going down, bro. I don't even know how to act. Honestly, bro, like, I hope you guys even realize, bro, Snap, like, the only thing that makes me, like, sad with Snap is just, like, I really hope you guys are able to handle this properly and not go crazy about it. Personally, again, I have a lot of confidence in it, and even just with how we balance. But, like, yo, it's just, like, I hope you guys are good. Don't overthink it, man. Again, with enough timing, just don't forget you're in the worst market in 50 years. But I'm praying for you. You know, I love the Chad, baby. I care more about you than I care about it for me, is what I'm trying to tell you, Chad. So let's go. Relax, though, and trust in the long term. It's a good foundation. But I love you. I'll see you in the morning. I'm going to stop dancing. Okay, I love you. Goodbye.